summer 2006. There's a few key events. One of them involved the Americans, not in a good way. We got ambushed by you guys. We were in Baghdad in the city. We'd gone out on a nighttime job in the Humvees. When we'd been outside the building all night, there was a massive firefight going on to the north, and we'd sort of been mesmerised watching the tracer by it as well. So we knew there was a huge fight going on to the north of us, and I believe there were strikers out on the ground, the armoured vehicles. As we were patrolling away from it, I heard this massive boom, and it's an anti-tank rocket, followed a few seconds later by a massive whooshing noise, which was it going above our heads. So like, okay, turn to our left, contact. Heavy machine gun fire starts just raining in on us. And at this point, I knew that it wasn't the enemy. Anyone that's been in a firefight with the enemy knows the difference between the enemy and a professional force. And we all knew instantly that this wasn't the enemy and this was a blue on blue. But of course, as anybody who's been in a firefight will tell you, the only way to stop someone shooting at you is to shoot back. So we did start shooting back. I think we took a round to one of our tyres. Some of them bounced off the splash plates the top gunners were on. And then eventually came down on the net. It was the Americans, cease fire. We were like, yeah, we do know it's them, but we had to make them aware that we also weren't the enemy. And eventually they ceased fire, and luckily nobody got hurt or killed in that skirmish. Funny then, when we got back to camp, of course, we wanted to know what had happened. Why had they contacted us? They'd come into theatre, they were still a bit new and fresh and twitchy. There'd been a lot of firefights going on that night. Not that this is excusing anything, because I'd like to think that anybody with superior night vision to us as well would, and we were in American vehicles, we weren't like we were in British Land Rovers, and you go, well, maybe they didn't recognise them, would tell the difference between us and a ragtag Iraqi insurgent group. They were the explanations for it. Okay, fair enough, it happens, it's war. But it's quite funny to read the contact report as well. So we got to read their contact report, which said they witnessed the enemy moving across and engaged with anti-tank rocket and then heavy weapons fire. It said, we then started to receive very accurate heavy weapons fire to our vehicles. At this point, we realised it was not the enemy and called ceasefire. So, yeah, well, they were in strikers. So, I mean, our rounds probably weren't doing much to them. But yeah, at that point, they were like, right, stop. It's not the enemy.